we're going to move on to the last activity, which is learning how to use your pen tool. So the pen tool is a little bit more complex, but you're able to manipulate to the particular shape that you want to create. There are two ways of going about it, to creating straight shapes and then round shapes. Now, when we're creating straight shapes, you want to make sure that you activate the pen tool, which is located right here. And I'm going to follow this activity right here. There are 3 anchor points that I want to create in order to create the triangle. It's very simple. Click, release, click, release, click, and release. So here, click, release, click, release, click, release, click, release. So you can see you need to make sure that you go back to the original point in order to complete your shape. And there I have my triangle. It gets a little bit more complex with a circle because you actually need to dictate where the anchor handle is going to go. So I'm going to make sure that I click on my first point, and I'm going to try to follow this instruction right here. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it to this blue point because this blue point is actually going to create that curve. So you see that anchor handle right there is going to create that curve for you. And you're going to do the same thing, click and drag to the blue point to create the curve, click and drag. And eventually you won't need help in creating the circle because you will know where the curve will go. So that's how you create a circle. So click, drag, don't let go, click, drag, and let go. And we're going to practice the same thing here. So we're going to create this open path, which means that it doesn't go back to the original point. And we're going to start with number 1. You're going to click and you're going to create a curve, drag it over here. Don't let go, just click and drag and then let go over at point number 2. And then you're going to click onto the second point. You're going to drag a new point out by holding the option tool and dragging to number 4, click, dragging it out here, and then click here. All right, so that's how you create your curve over here. Then you're going to do the same thing here. This is click, drag over to here to create your curve, and then number 3 to create your point. Same thing with this, click, drag, let go, click, drag, let go, click, drag, let go. You can see that the direction of the anchor handle dictates where the curve is going to go. Press V when you're done, and then you're going to do the same thing here. Click, let go, click, let go, click, let go, click, and then let go. Drag and let go. Now this is a little bit more complicated because the point is a little bit sharp on the second point. So what you're going to do is you're going to click and drag and let go to create your point. Don't do anything yet. Then you're going to go to point number 3. Then you're going to click and drag it downwards. You're going to use that anchor handle on point number 4. You're going to move it up to point number 5 in order to create your curve that will go up. And you're going to repeat that same thing, drag point number 7 upwards with the anchor handle and do the same thing. Click and drag, move the point, click and drag, move the point. And we're going to do the same for this. It gets a little bit more complex, but you're going to do the same for the next 2 activities. I'm going to walk you through it. Click, drag, click, and drag. Because this is not a curve, it's straight. You're going to click on that point, click, and what you're going to do is you're going to move the anchor handle downwards by holding the option tool, click and drag, and then you're going to get rid of that curve by clicking back at the original point, click, and then you're going to click and drag outwards so you only have one anchor handle point happening, click and drag. Then the last point is this, click and drag, click and drag to point number 4, and then you're going to click and drag point to number 6, click and drag to number 8, and then you're going to click and press anchor point and drag point downwards to number 10 so that you can create the curve, and then click in here, click and drag number 12 there, And then you're going to move point number 14 over here so that you can create another curve. And that's how you complete all these activities. And the last one is really summing up how you can actually use the pen tool. Remember, you want to create a new layer first, and then you want to copy the colors. So create a new folder, copy the colors of this character. And what we're going to do is the first step, which is creating the shape of the face. And the rest you will have to figure out how to use using the pen tool. All right. So I'm going to copy the colors and I'm going to start with the face. To start out, you need to start out at a point. So I'm going to start with the pointiest point over here. And I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to make sure I don't have anything obstructing my way. So I'm going to remove the fill so that there's nothing going on. I just see the black outline. Now this is a curve. So I'm going to make sure I click and drag so that it creates that curve. The anchor handle is pointing outwards, which means that if I create the curve, it's going to leave a little mark outside. So I need to move the anchor handle inward so that it creates a curve like this. Now you want to skip the ear because you can always layer it on top. Now what I want to do is I want to remove this anchor handle over here in order to create this smaller curve. Anchor handle here to create the smaller curve. Here, this is a straight point, curve upwards, and I'm going to remove this anchor handle by clicking back to the original point here, and then I'm going to get rid of that anchor handle here by clicking back and then finishing it up. Now you can see that once you create your point, you're going to fill it in. So the stroke color is the orange, so make sure that you already create the orange in the stroke panel, and then I'm going to select on the object that I want to color it, change the stroke color, and then also the fill color, which is the beige. And there you go. Now, the rest of the activity is you have to trace the rest, utilizing your transfer of learning and figuring out how you can do it for the rest. Make sure you do the most basic thing by creating a new layer and creating a stroke swatch for it. And I want you to take a screenshot and I want you to place it onto the activity. And that completes our tutorial. This is everything that we have learned so far. We have learned so many different things. I want you to be able to apply it, put it onto the screenshots, and summarize your transfer of learning. That's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching.